Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 1,200 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you.
Live from our studios in Austin, Texas, this is Drinkin' Bros Fake News with Ross Patterson, Dan Holloway, Papa G with the traffic,
How do you feel?
Not good.
Yeah?
field reporter Hot Bob, and Delco Dan with sports. Welcome to Fake News.
Yeah, welcome to Drinkin' Bros Fake News, everybody, bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week here, kids. Today's a day that feels like there's endless stories, Anthony. This show could go on for 14 hours.
The internet sucks.
Does it? Does the internet suck here again today?
That's not true. I've been watching some great porn all morning.
Yeah, I saw Bob watching Pornhub there. Bob, do you have to put in your birth date and your driver's license and all that stuff on Pornhub now?
Yeah, but I lie and say I'm an 84-year-old man.
Yeah, and that's what gets you off?
Because their algorithm's better for those guys.
Okay.
What's in it?
Oh, dude.
What isn't in it? It's usually small Asians. It's people, non-veterans who are just looking for a street Asian. That's what they call them, street Asians.
Yeah, a lot of nom stuff, mango parties.
There is a porn site called Asian Street Meat.
Oh, God. What's
Yeah.
involved in that?
I don't know.
I don't want to know.
I didn't have the courage to click it, to be honest.
You didn't have the courage to click that on. Good for you. Good for you,
Yeah, thanks. By the way, we told you we have these new shirts out.
Yeah, look at that.
Here they are.
Boom. These colors don't run.
These
right
colors
there.
don't run.
There they are.
See that? Boom.
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 Drinkinbros.com.
Make your friends and family hate being with you in public.
Apparently,
Exactly.
Rob found Asian street meat.
Of course he
Oh,
did.
no, it's a real thing for sure, yeah.
Of course he did. These are questionable, though. These could
Hey,
be...
is semen usually red?
Oh, that's blood.
Oh.
It's blood.
Oh, no, that's her lipstick on semen, dude.
On semen.
It doesn't look like a woman, though, is the problem.
Well, you never know over there.
You don't,
That's-
which is why I'm all good on that,
yeah,
by the way.
well, that's the mystery.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's like life can get pretty boring, and you never know who's on the side of the other side of that wall
If
when you put your dick through it.
If you don't know, then you don't know.
It's not gay if you don't know.
It isn't. I just had a conversation. So somebody we used to work with left, and they said, "Hey, nothing against you guys or anything else. We're going to slide you over to somebody else." And I said, "Great." I was like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm going to Asia. I'm going to go to Asia for 6 months." I was like, "How old are you?" He's
Where?
like 25 years old. Doesn't matter.
Thailand's the questionable
Yeah,
one.
Thailand and all the rest of them. And I ended up talking to his boss. So his boss called me and he goes, "Hey, did you hear about so-and-so?" I was like, "Yeah." And I go, "You can just be honest with him, right? You told him you're just going there to get prostitutes." And he goes, "Yeah, I sure did. I sure did." And I
Well, there
like,
there was always
25.
the odd guy. So there's when you go on deployments, you make a bunch of tax-free money.
Uh-huh.
If you go as a contractor, you make 10 times as much tax-free money. And there are always a couple of guys in the unit, and it's a mix too of officers and enlisted dudes who spend their vacation time over in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, places like that.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's like they're obsessed with the culture or if they're just looking for like an old world wife. You know what I mean? Because traditional values in America are they're not really fucking on point anymore. You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
So
That's true.
it could be that, or they're just looking for chicks with dicks. Which is what I always assume.
Right. And then from my side of it, I had a fraternity brother that went right after college and then never returned. And I said, "Hey, have you heard from so-and-so?" to a buddy of mine, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, he's still there." And I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck's he doing there?" And he goes, "He's teaching English."
Oh boy, so he's kind of like Ethan Suplee and Blow. He just went down to Mexico one time and never showed back up.
Never came back. So I know what he's doing over there, and he was
he's
an ugly
banging
dude.
trannies is what he's doing.
Yeah, and he was an ugly dude to begin with. So maybe that is what was best for him in the world.
Is that a gateway drug to gay, or is that its own separate thing?
Tranny?
Yeah.
It depends on if you know going in. I think if you don't know, then, you know, it's a whole different sitch. If you know going in, then yes.
If you're traveling to Asia to bang prostitutes or whatever the fuck, and you don't think they're going to be dudes, I don't know that you can claim ignorance at this point in human history.
What's that ratio, do you think, over there?
85%.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
I think you're close.
In sex work, I mean, not
right.
Well,
I agree.
The women are probably 51% like they are everywhere else, but I think in the sex trade, it's probably mostly fucking chicks with dicks.
Oh god, dude. Because you know, there's a lot of people out there who want to go, and it's just be careful.
I'm building a device to detect it.
Are you?
Yeah.
Like a wand?
It's not a wand. It's just a glove you put on.
All right.
And then you Crocodile Dundee their fucking crotch.
Okay.
And see what's up.
But does it light up of like, oh, if it's blue, it's a boy. If it's pink, it's a girl.
If it's a puss, it vibrates.
Okay.
So if there's no vibration, it's time to move on.
I didn't know the reason like a gender reveal.
The reason I made it that way is because I didn't want to vibrate dudes' hogs. So it vibrates when it feels a puss.
Okay, cool. Look for that on the market soon. That'll be on drinkinbros.com shortly.
Yeah, right next to Thick Dukes.
Yeah. Both will be there. You have your option at what you want over there. First up in the news here. That's a beautiful.
Yeah,
is that a fucking bubble gun you got?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Joel found this in the fucking parking lot, I think.
Joel's got a lot of weird shit being sent to the office these days. When you live in a trailer behind the office, it's
sick. I think the bubble gun made the internet just cash.
Did it cash out?
We're still going, but
oh my bad. Yeah, you're probably right about that actually.
Is it operated off of Wi-Fi?
No, but like a lot of movement and stuff will make it like there's more video processing required.
Oh,
so
gross.
I fucked this over.
Gross.
Probably.
It's
Sorry,
fine. We should go back to SD cameras and just put a filter on this and shoot it like we're in fucking Jackass days. That would be great. First up, news-wise, Mayorkas impeachment begins. Finally. Jesus Christ. How fucking long did this take?
Yeah.
The House Homeland Security Committee on Wednesday held its first impeachment hearing focused on Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, as Republicans push to impeach the top Biden administration official over the border crisis issue. Republicans lambasted Mayorkas during the hearing on what they claim is a dereliction of duty, as border crossings have reached record highs, while Democrats argue that the impeachment proceedings are politically motivated and meritless. There's no fucking way that can be your argument at this point. We just brought kids out of a school to bring immigrants in to sleep for the night and made the kids go home and study in New York. There's no fucking way you can say this is without merit. There's just no way.
Yeah, well, maybe, right? Like to fire him, you're correct. But impeachment has a different requirement typically, right? It's high crimes and treason.
But how does that work if you're letting it happen? If you're letting the crimes happen, aren't you fucking complicit?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's...
if you can claim incompetence, I guess.
There's no way.
I kind of feel like that might be setting a pretty bad precedent, that if you're just doing a bad job, you can be impeached for high crimes and treason. That might not be the best thing. Maybe a recall, or maybe like... Maybe we need to have a different set of circumstances for these appointments, these cabinet level appointments, and then also for judges, because judges can be impeached by Congress as well. But it's a notorious, like, it requires a lot of effort. When they did that to make sure every time the winds change, whatever the ruling party is doesn't kick all the old judges out or whatever the fuck, right?
Right.
So I get it, but it seems like there might be something more akin to a recall rather than an impeachment that might be appropriate here, in my opinion. I don't know, Bob. What do you think about that? Doesn't like
fire this fucking guy.
Fire him and then force the Senate to re-vote or some shit like that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, it's never a good idea to just go nuclear as often as possible, right? Like that's just gonna fuck everything up. And honestly, it would be like, I guess, people kind of get around. What do you call it? Lying on the stand or perjury. But I mean, like, I have no memory of that.
Yeah.
It could have happened, but I have no memory of that.
Yeah, maybe. But we're seeing like the cabinet members from the Biden administration are the worst I've ever seen. Buttigieg is still the transpo secretary. Have you heard from him recently? I haven't seen that motherfucker on TV
once
since his last embarrassing situation.
I haven't seen him once anywhere.
Like, what the fuck's he doing right now?
Don't know. And this border thing, I mean, now that everybody else is reporting on it, like mainstream media-wise and all this other shit, why not fire this guy and just say you're doing a bad job? Trump used to fire somebody every day. Every day we walked into work when Trump was in office, somebody was fired and we would talk about it.
Or they quit.
Either one.
Yeah.
Because they were like, he was like, hey, why can't you do your fucking job? With this guy, why can't you do your fucking job? Why this is a partisan issue, immigration is a partisan issue, I have no idea. Like, I'd love just one Democrat to help me understand why illegal immigration is good for our country right now. Just one. I don't understand. This should be a nonpartisan issue here. This fucking piece of shit should lose his job immediately. Skip the impeachment. By the time all this bullshit ends, we're in January now, unless he's hoping to stay on for the next, if he believes Biden's going to win, and then maybe he's hoping to stay on after that.
I don't know that a cabinet level guy stayed on for multiple
terms
like that. I can't remember I'm
not sure.
Maybe if you began as DNI or chief ops or something like that at the agency or something towards the end of the presidency and you stayed on after when he got reelected, maybe. But Mayorkas has been the DHS guy the whole time, right? He was acting at first, but he was the acting and then got confirmed.
Correct. And what I would love,
he was even under Trump, he was the or under Obama and then under Trump, he was the head of USCIS, the organization that I worked for back in the day.
Bob, pull up those processing tents down there on the border of these makeshift tents that they've set up so they can process these guys and give them the fake paperwork for a court date that they're never going to show up for, and then they ship them out to whatever fucking city you're living in right now. There they are right there. This is where I would like Mayorkas to work on a daily basis. And then tell me if there's a fucking crisis and you want to do something about it there. Just one of these, you're just walking into your little tent every day down there right in El Paso, right at the fucking border, right at Eagle Pass. Tell me, after a month's worth of working there, if we have a fucking immigration problem. Just that's all I want to know.
Well, I mean, are we kicking veterans out of hotels? Are we kicking children out of their schools to house illegal immigrants? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Pretty simple, right?
Pretty simple.
And that's a pretty low bar too, right? Like, it's not like we had to go looking for this stuff.
No. And earlier in the week when I was talking about CBS Morning News finally covering this and then sending homegirl down to the border there, she was in and out of these goddamn things. So you got to see what it was really like. And if you want to head on down there, Mayorkas, because I think he's got a Spanish flair to his name. Is he Latinx? Does he have any Latinx in him?
I think Cuban is what he says. But Mayorkas sounds Greek to me for some reason. But
who knows?
I believe we've discussed this before.
What was the answer?
It's like he was Greek, but then went to Cuba.
Okay, went to Cuba after that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because
so you're saying it's stolen valor then?
Yeah.
No, he was born in Cuba. He was born in Havana.
Oh,
so
he was.
He is a Cuban Jew. His dad is from the Ottoman Empire. Or his family's from the Ottoman Empire. They left and eventually found their way to Cuba.
Fucking loser.
Fucking loser. But put him in a little tent there, a processing tent for 30 days, and just say, look, this is your job. Process these people, talk to them, see what's going on, talk to Border Patrol, and then if you think you're doing a great job, you can continue to stay and work, or you can come back and actually do something about it. Either way, this impeachment thing is going to go on forever. I've said this a million times on this show. These impeachment fucking things for the presidents and everybody else, it's worthless. It's time-consuming, monetarily consuming. Just fire this asshole, get him the fuck out of there, and move on with your life. I don't really understand why we have to go through all of this.
Well, only one cabinet-level dude in the history of the country has even been impeached, and he was not convicted either.
Who was it?
What's his name? Belknap. He was the Secretary of War, and after the Civil War, 1870s, mid-1870s, he got impeached, but for
the South?
They never got the votes.
Is he losing?
Yeah.
No, Belknap was He was after. He served in the Civil War, I would imagine, probably. But I don't know what his specific history was. But he was the Secretary of War. He was the Secretary of Defense, basically. During the Reconstruction, early part of the Reconstruction.
He was Grant with Grant. He was the War Secretary with
Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah.
During his presidency, though, not when
Yes.
he was the general
Yes,
of
during
the
his
Continental
presidency.
Army, or not
Yeah.
Continental, but the Northern Army. Yeah. So he was. What year did Grant's term end? 78.
Yeah, that sounds right.
1878.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, he's the only one that hasn't even been attempted to get impeached, and they only got.
Oh no, it was 1880.
1880.
64
Yeah.
was Lincoln's beginning second term.
Yeah. So he and I don't even know what he was impeached for, but they didn't even have
was corruption.
maybe half the votes they got, something
Okay.
like that. It's the only time it's ever happened. And it's because, like you said, impeachment is fucking pointless. This is dumb. I don't know why we keep fucking talking about this.
I don't
shit.
either, man. Just
Like
fire him.
Just
Fire him for doing a bad
seeing
job.
like even for a president, seeing the absurdity of it with Clinton, and then the even dumber
Twice with
absurdity with Trump. I mean, what the fuck? What a waste of fucking time.
Waste of
that
time,
is.
and
Jesus
it means
Christ.
nothing at the end of the day. Bob, real quick before we wrap up this story, how did Lincoln's second term go?
Started strong. Started strong. Won a war.
Yep.
But yeah, he didn't have the stamina, and
Lost his head, and that
lost
happens.
his mind. Yeah.
Next up, Spain goes full retard. I know you put tard in this story, but I added the re to
Yeah.
it. I think
Yeah.
you just forgot it is all. History has been made in Valencia, Spain, as the first parliamentarian with Down syndrome has been elected to the regional assembly.
By the way,
oh boy,
parliamentarian, for those of you who aren't familiar with European politics, MP, member of parliament, that's like a congressperson, basically.
yep.
So, Spain has a literal retarded person in their legislature now. Now, we have a bunch of figurative ones,
Sure,
obviously, but
Sure.
this is next level stuff right here, bud.
We have Fetterman, but this is a real one. Like, this is a real one here.
Well, Fetterman went full Christopher Reeve and sucked the stem cells out of 1,000 babies, and now he's good. As a matter of fact, his brain is improving so much he's becoming conservative.
Yeah,
I
I think
know, who
you're
knows?
actually gonna like. I think this version of John Fetterman you would love.
Yeah.
Well, so far, look, and who knows? Whenever you crack open the skull of an infant and drink the blood and get
Yeah.
that adrenochrome pumping through your veins, maybe it does make you see the light. Who knows? But yes, the Fetterman that's been the last 3 or 4 weeks, you're like, oh shit, are you conservative now? Because
It's like that fucking dumb John Travolta movie where he gets a tumor in his head and he becomes a genius or whatever.
oh, I thought you were talking about the baby movie. My wife loves that movie.
Wait, what movie?
Look Who's Talking.
Oh, I don't know. what
It's
that
about
is.
the talking babies.
Oh, yeah,
Bruce Willis, John Travolta.
Yeah.
They were baby voices.
Look Who's Talking Too.
That's how good that movie was.
Yeah.
There was a sequel.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
It sure does. I mean, it was a box office smash.
No, there was a second through like 12th Star Wars, and all of those movies suck.
Sure did. Sure did.
Is that a minority opinion? Do people
People love.
like? I know people feel nostalgic about Star Wars, but they also feel nostalgic about the Goonies and shit. Star Wars
Goonies is great.
has there have been one-offs that were good. Like Rogue One was a good movie. Like some of the movies have been good, but the core 9 Star Wars movies are fucking terrible. They're not good movies.
The
You don't
first 3 I liked, and then after that I checked out.
Yeah, but that's because you saw them as a child.
Yep.
If you had not
100%.
seen them as a child, you would be like, what the fuck is this horse shit? Because Spaceballs, the parody of Star Wars, was not that far from the campy level that just regular ass Star Wars was.
But you
Except for
gotta-
Empire. Empire was dark.
But you got to pop it back and know that they were doing the 70s without all the cool technology and shit.
Yeah,
so-
but it wasn't the fucking. That wasn't the problem. It's Han Solo like on the intercom like how are you?
Yeah.
Like all right, cool, man. Thanks. You're supposed to be a fucking superhero or some shit.
Come on, dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not. There's no Harrison Ford slander in this. He shouldn't be flying planes. But he's a hell of an actor. He's a hell of an actor.
He's a great actor, yeah, and he was great. But his role, Harrison Ford's role in Star Wars was a comedy role until he got killed by his son. Spoiler alert. and fucking the 90th one or whatever the fuck it was. Like he was always comic relief.
Yeah.
Throughout that whole process.
And I laughed my ass off. Him and Chewbacca, dude, really got me through some dark times.
I'm not a huge Harrison Ford guy, to be honest.
I know you're not. You didn't like The Fugitive?
No, but that's only because I don't like disabled people.
Okay.
As you can see from the shirt.
Yeah, and from this story here.
Yeah.
So how do they? Oh boy. How do they go about electing these people? Is there debates over there, and was she in a debate against somebody? Like how does this happen?
So in the what happens with a parliamentary system is, so your party, whatever it is, in this case, it's a conservative People's Party. So these are right-wing people, I would imagine. Rightwingretards.com. I individual MPs get elected, right? But you're part of a party. So before the votes happen, the party nominates who their party leader is going to be. So in Canada, for example, they have a European parliamentary system. Trudeau is the leader of his party. So when and they decide who becomes prime minister based on the amount of seats that each party gets. So if your party gets the requisite amount of seats, whomever your leader is becomes prime minister.
Okay.
You understand? So it's not like there's no vote for a prime minister. The prime minister becomes prime minister because they're the leader of the ruling party, essentially. So she got elected by people, I think, unless she was appointed, unless somebody died in that seat and she got appointed or something. But I would assume she got elected.
I'm not real sure here, but it says she was sworn in 2023. Bob, pop up that pic one more time there. It says she was sworn in 2023. You got a tab over her head, making her look even worse, Bob. Thank you. Let's see her.
I mean, she's got a...
How did we just find this out now?
This might just be well, this story just came out Tuesday.
But she got sworn in 2023.
Yeah, but look, we don't get Spanish news here, bud.
That's true.
Because nobody gives a fuck what's going on in Spain. Spain sucks. Portugal's dope, but Spain is terrible.
Did you go to Spain when you were over in Portugal over the break?
Fuck no.
Really? Is that a common thing that people don't like Spain?
Portuguese don't like Spanish.
No shit. Why is that?
Turf war.
I mean, there's a lot of fucking history there.
I mean, you want to shorten it? You want to give me a brief version here, a little cliff notes of it?
I don't know. Why do we hate the English?
Because they tried to
I don't
fucking
really hate them.
They tried to tax us, bro. What are you talking about?
Back in the day, they
tried to tax us, and then they tried to disarm the public.
Yeah, but I'm we're over it now, obviously, because we won.
I'm not over
we
it.
won.
I'm not over it.
I like England.
I think we should have driven them into the ground. I thought George Washington made a big mistake. He sent who was it? Bob, wasn't John Adams the first ambassador to Britain after the U.S. became a thing?
I think so.
Yeah, he sent him over there. It's like, fuck that, man. He wanted to make peace with them. So the French helped us win the Revolutionary War. And then George Washington told us, like, yeah, but you guys are French, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out
We
of
kept
here.
Lafayette and was like, get the rest of these assholes out of here.
Get these fucking morons out of here.
Anyways, what the fuck are we talking about? Retards.
Yeah.
I assume she got elected.
I know.
Right? Which means
She did,
that
yeah.
Yeah. Say it.
the best that this particular area had to offer was a woman with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Are we offline now?
Yeah. We
For
are.
fuck's sake.
Did it get? We got nuked on there. Yeah. Internet went down.
Well, either that or we
later.
said retard like 80 times too.
It could have been either one. Don't really care either way here.
It's not YouTube here. It's us.
That's fine. But with this story in particular here, I just can't imagine anybody was that amped to get out to the polls and be like, man, this is going to be the best person for our government.
I mean, that does say, so they have there's another tard in Spanish government that's like a city councilor somewhere.
Okay.
But this is, I mean, this is fucking, I don't understand this. Look, if you want to like run a marathon or look, it's like,
Yeah.
and what is a high functioning Down syndrome person exactly? It's like a 7th grader instead of a 6-year-old.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to be a dick or anything.
Me neither.
I'm serious. Like what this person's making decisions for a big swath of the community, and they have Down syndrome. Like the main characteristic, other than physical features, is that they have the brain of a child.
Right.
So if we're gonna do that, let's go full child legislature.
Yes.
Right. Like what's the planet that fucking Princess Leia came from?
You know, it's a Star Wars reference.
Alderaan. So in Alderaan, the royalty, the prince or princess or queen or whatever the fuck was always a child.
All right.
And then
no. That's you're thinking of Queen Amidala.
Yeah, was that not Alderaan?
Different. So Queen Amidala.
Oh no, that's Naboo. That's right.
Was Princess Leia's mother.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they elect a child on Naboo.
Yeah, that's Naboo. Okay.
You fucking nerds, dude. Listen to this nerd bullshit.
I just remember things. I don't even like these.
It's not
movies.
pop culture. You have to really memorize this stupid shit. I saw each movie one time. When's the last movie you saw?
Now that we're not live again, I'm going to fire this fucking thing
Why
off.
not, dude? Who cares? Fire it off over and over and over again. Who gives a shit?
Now, that is similar to one of Naboo's primary weapons for their armored infantry known as the Delayors.
Now we're getting into...
God damn it.
Now we're getting into a problematic territory, Bob. I don't know why you had to do that.
Jesus Christ. How many times you watched this shit?
We won that fucking argument until you said that stupid shit.
It's why him and his wife got along so well.
Oh, yeah,
she's a Disney adult. He's a Star Wars.
Creepy.
You fucking losers, dude. It's unbelievable. I've watched that movie once. That's it. Each one. I watched one time, and then I was good for the rest of my life. Never had to go back to it. Did you watch it multiple times, Delco? I'm looking at you on this one because you said this is pop culture.
Yeah.
That we should know all the names of these weirdos on
the original
fake
three
planets.
And the prequels I've seen multiple times. Yeah.
What's multiple to you?
Probably the originals. I've probably seen like 10 times each.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's
my
lot.
dad took me as a kid.
10 times?
They re-released the movies.
There's not a whole lot to do in Delco other than street crime and Star Wars.
All right.
Also, if you were of our age in particular, my age in particular, there was a time, basically throughout my entire decade of my 20s, where Star Wars movies and Lord of the Rings movies played constantly. The prequels for Star Wars.
The prequels also came out when I was like 9.
Yeah, but they played constantly on cable on Sundays.
No, I know.
So
I know.
you're violently hungover on the couch eating some terrible chain pizza and just like mindlessly watching Star Wars.
I would watch golf instead of Star Wars or the Lord of the Rings. I've never even seen one of those Lord of the Rings, by the way. Not one.
I've seen them, but I was on drugs.
All right.
Like it was, and I didn't have I had music on and not the sound from the TV.
Okay. Yeah,
because it was like the visual effects and the journey and stuff. It's kind of like watching WALL-E, actually. You remember that?
Yeah.
There's no dialogue at all. It's just music, but you can see. I used to watch when I used to take acid mushrooms back in the day, and watch these visual arts films that basically would be like. It's all digital. It's like a cartoon kind of, but it would be like a spaceship, like Flight of the Navigator, but digitized.
Yeah.
And it would just be traveling through space or whatever. And then one of them I watched there was a whole family of spaceships, but it was like they're just traveling around and your brain just makes up the narrative for it. That's what I did with Lord of the Rings.
All right.
I just used the visual part of it. But the movies, I'm not watching somebody walk for fucking 12 hours across 3 movies. Okay. I would rather blow my brains right out of the back of my head.
You're a real witch king about the Lord of the Rings.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, boy, Bob. I'm
proud to say I have no idea what the fuck that means.
This fucking dork shit. Let's get back to some shit here.
That is literature, okay?
What, retards?
What is?
Lord of the Rings.
Fuck that.
Oh, fuck. I don't... Fuck
Tolkien?
off. Yeah, I'm all good.
So you find all sorts of people on social media. There are people who support me, but there are also others who think I'm not capable. But these are people who don't know me or my background. Now, I assume she said this all in Spanish because it's Spain.
Sure.
So I don't know if that's what she said or not.
Me neither.
Can you find a video of her speaking?
Yeah. That would be great.
Because I
got to know.
I just need to know.
I need to know too.
Because then she says that she was very happy that society started to see that people with Down syndrome have a lot to contribute. And people see her as a person, not just for my disability. Now, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a person in a wheelchair with no legs and you're trying to join my basketball team, it's like, you're a person, and I respect you as a human being, for sure, but you can't play fucking basketball with
can't
us.
be my point guard.
And if you are retarded, how can you be in Congress?
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick. We talk a lot of funny stuff about retards on this show, but this is fucking wild as fuck to me.
This makes no sense to me. But now, and look, we could be wrong. Maybe it's just the facial features, and then she's got a fully developed brain. Not sure. Pop up this interview here. Let's give it a full look-sees.
Abriendo informativos, participando en programas, portadas, en radio. ¿Cómo llevas toda esta atención mediática?
Pues la llevo con tranquilidad y con filosofía. Pero yo que tampoco es que me asuste los medios de comunicación.
Still the same in a
No,
different
porque, de
language.
hecho,
Still the same in a
estabas
different
contando,
language,
tú
dude.
trabajabas en televisión.
Yo he trabajado durante 3 años, así que sé cuál es el trabajo que hacéis, que os entiendo perfectamente.
Pero ¿te esperabas tanta expectación y tanta atención?
Bueno, si lo pensáis bien,
I cut away there.
soy la primera
Smart.
persona con síndrome de Down, síndrome de la diputada autonómica. Claro, eso queda mucha expectación, muchos medios de comunicación.
No, all good on this, Bob. You can go ahead and cut that. I can't do this one. I can't do this one. I'm sorry. This is wild as shit. I mean, sometimes, look, we joke about our government being full of fucking retards all the time over here, and it's like, if you're going to do it, I guess hire everyone then. And
Well-
then make it all childlike.
I think it should all be children, for
Same.
sure, right? That way, like, the cost of Happy Meals, lowest they've ever been.
Yeah. Real
Lowest
cheap.
they've ever fucking
Yep.
been. Pokemon cards, lowest they've ever been. We're cutting back to a 3-day work week.
Yep.
Right.
I know what kids would vote for. The child meals at Chick-fil-A never have a sweet toy. It's usually like a book to read.
They're awful.
They're the worst ever, and it's like, oh, here's a book or some cards with animals on
That's,
them.
by the way-
They're all learning devices instead of plastic
would
fucking
think,
toys
you would
that
think
you can have fun with.
You would think Chick-fil-A would be trying to proselytize, throw Jesus in there.
Well-
remember those old Jesus figurines where Jesus is
I would
playing,
love it.
where he's
Oh, yeah.
playing sports
Yes.
and shit. He's
Yeah.
like, he's getting a robe and sandals with long hair and he's kicking a soccer ball through a fucking net. It's like,
Be
fuck,
fucking
dude, you
awesome.
think you could fucking be goalie against Jesus? I don't fucking think so, Hope Solo. That's why your asshole's on our fucking show now. Because you got
Christ
cocky and you thought you could fucking do that. No way.
No way.
By the way, I looked this up. So the average retard with Down syndrome has an IQ between 50 and 60, right? But there have been people with Down syndrome who have had IQs as high as 120, which is the average college graduate is about 120, right?
All right.
115 to 120. So maybe she's just like super high. I've never heard of a high functioning Down syndrome person.
I have not either.
I'm willing to accept that that's what that is.
Based on her speech, and
No,
the
well, I
way
can't.
she talks,
I don't know. Maybe she's just a fucking weirdo too, right?
boy.
I don't know. I'm
Are
trying
you
to.
putting that layer on top
I'm
of the
trying.
other one?
I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. And the people of Spain in this region, do they? I mean, fucking Christ, man!
It's like wearing another parka on top of a parka. Where you're just like, man.
A hat on a hat is the phrase.
I don't care what it
let's
is.
see.
I don't give a
What's her
shit
name?
what it is.
Mar Galcerin. I'm going to look up and see if she's got a Wikipedia page.
I'm sure she
Oh, yeah.
does.
Here we
At
dude.
this point, she does, I'd imagine.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, but it doesn't have like on for U.S. Politicians. They'll have how many votes you got and shit. That's what I wanted to see.
They don't even have her age correct. They're like 78 or 79. We don't know.
Well, you got to cut her in half and count the rings.
Of her birth. How do you not have somebody's birth date who's in the parliament?
They just found her and threw her in. She was
This
walking
seems-
the streets.
This seems like a plant.
By the way, this is the Christian Democratic Party. So it's like the conservatives. This is
Okay.
right-leaning people.
She
in
said
Spain.
that she joined it because she liked that they embraced tradition.
By
What tradition is that? Flautas?
Putting-
What are we doing in
putting
Spain?
tards in the fucking Senate.
Yeah, is that a tradition over there?
That seems non-traditional thing.
Yeah, doesn't it? Unless look, maybe in the 1700s, they put one in and they were like, well, it'd be great to have another retard back in office. Let's put this person in there. Fucking A, dude. This is wild. I'm having a tough one of this.
I love this.
Tough time with this story.
To be honest, like here's what we should do. We're going to do all this fucking DEI representation bullshit.
Yeah.
Fine. What percentage of the population has retard? Put them in.
Put them in.
Got to do it.
Got to do it.
What percentage of the population is children? Right?
Yeah.
What percentage of the population is over 18, Bob? I think it's like 270 million people are over 18.
Something like that, yeah.
And 100 million.
There's like 100
are-
million kids, basically. Yeah.
So,
Put them
right?
in. Let them represent.
1/3 of the Congress should be children. And then every, like, maybe 12th president should be a child.
But do it to sports as well. If you're going to do it to sports as well. And I know Mark Cuban caught some heat for this the other day because he was going back and forth with this chick about the DEI shit. And they were like, great. Why don't you put a tiny Asian man on your team or some more white people? Because right now, the numbers don't add up unless you actually want them to be good at their fucking job instead of their race or whether or not they're retarded or whatever the fuck's going on here. It's going to get worse, guys. It's going to get worse today. I can promise you that. However, after hearing all that nerd bullshit, at least we got some cool shit here. NFL playoffs is coming up this weekend. Go to mybookie.com. Use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double that first deposit up to $1,000 over there. Tons of great games to bet on this weekend. Super amped across the board. I'm riding with the Browns -2.5.
Yeah, same.
Down there in Houston to lead us off this weekend. I think the Cowboys are on outside. Full slate Saturday, Sunday, Monday nights. Monday night game is Delco's Eagles over there. I've got them at 2.5 as well on that Monday night game. Looking forward to that. Over 350 prop bets per game as well. Bet on your favorite players, over-unders, all that other shits. Yes, I took a fucking bath in that goddamn Washington game. I'm sorry. I didn't know the guy who was runner-up to the Heisman wouldn't show up for that game and look like he was playing JV football again. All right, that's on me. Hopefully I can do better this weekend, kids. Either way, do you really feel alive inside if you don't have a little something on these games in the background? Probably not. Go to mybookie.com. Use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Next up, Epstein's brother speaks out. I didn't know he had a brother.
Yeah.
Well, a fucking brother this whole time?
Brother.
Is it black?
No, they're Jewish.
Okay.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr.
But do they call them brothers?
No, I just said that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was an underground Jew term that I didn't know.
I don't know if you could say that anymore.
Which one?
Underground Jews.
That's right. After yesterday, we did that story.
Did you see that you know what the ADL is, right?
Yeah.
Like the fucking, they just call everybody racist.
Uh-huh.
So they made, I'm not even making this up. They fucking put clean mattresses as a sign of white supremacy on their website this
Really?
week. And then they put cement trucks as a fucking sign of white supremacy because they use cement trucks to fill in those fucking tunnels.
No shit.
So now cement trucks are anti-Semitic.
Okay. Makes sense.
That seems like a lot of work, man.
It does. All of this seems like a lot of fucking work, dude. Let's get a pic of this guy. Let's see what he looks like. Not a bad looking dude.
No? There's something going on with that woman, though.
Is that his wife? Who is that? Is that a prostitute?
I was trying to figure out. The caption is
that a prostitute?
Polina Proshkina.
Sure.
Oh, boy.
Oh, there we go.
She's a fucking Russian spy.
Mail order. I mean, that's a prostitute he got off the streets over there, probably. I have no knowledge of that, so don't come after me. What's her name?
Polina Proshkina.
Yeah, don't come after me. She's gonna put fucking cyanide in my goddamn liquid IV here today. What's their sitch? Are they married in real life or just boning?
I don't know. Truly, that's the only context I was given.
Man, I didn't know. I was unaware he had a brother. You would think this would be a bigger story after all that's gone on for
especially since what he's saying, right? I mean,
7 years. I haven't heard what he's saying.
Yeah, well, so
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Mark Epstein, the brother of deceased serial sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, accused former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr of covering up his brother's death on Tuesday. Out of everything you want to accuse the government over, you want to say that's covering up the death and not covering up, I don't know, thousands of underage girls.
Well, I think that's what he means. He's saying that Bill Barr is part and parcel to the conspiracy that Epstein was. That he killed himself. He thinks his brother was murdered by the government.
Shit.
Yes,
he was murdered by the government. Yeah. But he was murdered by the government because he was covering up underage. You would think Mark would come out, the brother, and just be like, "Look, I know my brother did a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah.
However, he did not kill himself." During an appearance on News Nation, On Balance with Leland Vettert, I don't know who that is, Epstein criticized Barr for announcing in August 2019 that his brother had died from an apparent suicide when it really wasn't his position to do that because there was no proper investigation into his death that was conducted, according to Mark. Epstein pushed back against Barr's narrative that his brother's death was the result of a perfect storm of screw-ups. Is that what he really said? Barr said that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, because people were asking, how was he alone in the room? How did he have the stuff to do it with? What, the cameras were out, the guys took a fucking lunch break or some shit. All of this stuff had to happen for it. Look, once is chance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is a fucking pattern, right? I think that's what he's alluding to. And then Barr's just like, oh, nothing to see. He's like fucking Officer Wiggum from The Simpsons. Nothing to see here, folks. Go home.
It was just this perfect storm of screw-ups. He says, yes, there were screw-ups, but that doesn't mean that my brother was, committed suicide because of screw-ups. There's a lot of reasons. There are a number of reasons why he would not commit suicide then.
Yeah, a bunch of them, actually. And here's one. Regardless of all the fucked up shit he did, even a guy like that, with the information he had, if he were to turn state's witness and start bringing down politicians, he would have served maybe 2 years jail time and gone into WITSEC, right?
Yep.
For real.
Yeah.
Because people, goddamn Sammy the Bull and then Whitey Bulger murdered 15 to 20 people each and did 4 or less years in prison as part of their fucking plea deal, right? When they turned state's evidence. You don't think a guy that just, what he did was evil, obviously, but we don't even prosecute actual child rapists here in America, much less people that are sex trafficked overseas and shit.
No, and somebody that rich, once they get behind bars like that,
dude.
and they're like, oh, well, shit, how do I get the fuck out of here? You want me to sing? I'll sing.
Yeah.
Like, he would have turned everybody in just to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. He probably would have got 2 to 3 years tops in some low max, mid security prison, whatever the fuck, and then boom. He would have been on his way, and that didn't happen for whatever reason. Now, it doesn't do his brother any good here, popping up with Russian women like this.
Yeah, well, look, it's it's family tradition, and you don't fuck with tradition. That's what they say.
Family, you don't fuck with family. That's what Vin Diesel used to say.
Yeah. Well, he still does.
Epstein insisted I wasn't involved in his day-to-day life regarding his brother, so I don't know what he knows. But to go back to your initial question of why he did it, you'd have to ask Bill Barr if he was covering this up, which he appears to be. Who is he covering up for? Who is Bill Barr protecting? Well, I think that list is probably pretty endless.
What's the list? Right.
We don't know, though, who's on it. Like, we still don't have a number, a whole full list.
We're like 12 days away from the list coming out, allegedly. Oh, 11 days. It's the 22nd, I think it's supposed to come out.
Yeesh. They pushed this back a lot.
Yeah, I'll be in Vegas for that. So,
what are you doing for it? Are you guys throwing a party?
Maybe, actually. Is that the night? Is the 22nd the night of
I think the 23rd is the night.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
The night before, hey, you should throw an Epstein party.
Maybe. I don't know. The 23rd in the morning, I've got to do me, Tim, Kennedy, Donut, Eli Cuevas, Brian Callen. We're all doing a bet suicide panel. So I don't want to be too fucked up for that. And then Chad Robichaux's there, too, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I don't want to be too fucked up for that. So maybe I'll wait a day and celebrate on the night of the 23rd at that party.
Okay.
Because they're doing a comedy show anyway. I'm going to be like, I'll just go grab the mic. Like, hey, just want to let everybody know, these 3 dudes are on the list right here in the front row. Jared's one of them.
Yeah, Jared, obviously.
Caleb.
Right?
Wow. Probably Jack is probably in there.
Easily.
Chef Rush probably in there too.
Jack just based on looks.
Yeah, he looks like if things didn't work out for Randy Quaid.
Yep. Yeah.
Or just present day Randy Quaid, I guess.
Well, Randy Quaid's doing fine.
See, I think Jack looks like the cell keeper. You know what I mean?
Jack Mandeville?
Yeah, like he looks like he just hauls the slop over to the cell.
He doesn't know how to speak.
Yeah,
he's mute for sure, yeah. In that scenario, he's mute, yeah. Or he's like the one when Tyrion Lannister was stuck in the sky cell.
Literally exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Man,
nerd shit.
Either way, look, I hope these names come out on the 22nd like they're supposed to. I have a feeling they probably won't. We've already heard there's going to be some redactions anyways, which, look, if Trump was on that list, it would have been published immediately.
Well, he is.
Is he?
Yeah, they flew from Palm Beach to New York or something. I don't remember.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Who did he go to the island? Did he go to the fucking?
No, he's not on. He never went to the island.
Okay.
He was on Epstein's plane from New York. I think from New York to Palm Beach. So where he lives, to his house.
So what's the list itself then?
But they both live down there.
Okay, gotcha.
In like Jupiter, Palm Beach area, I think.
What's the list itself then? Who people who are on the island?
No, the list is from the flight log. So no matter where the plane went.
I think it's also people mentioned in that like deposition or something.
Yeah, that's part of it too. But you got to be careful because half the goddamn screenshots from those depositions are made up, like the one we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Or Monday, whatever it was.
Yeah. I saw him floating around Twitter, and I don't know what's what anymore. And I think we're all in the same.
Well, the
boat
Stephen
of
Hawking
what's
one's
real.
not real, and
It is real. That one's the only real one that I believe in. That he was in that wheelchair on top of the bed.
Yeah, I wish it was real.
Not the what?
I was going to say it wasn't like I think it's like he didn't just commit the crimes on the island, because that chick was one of the deposition people was saying she gave quote unquote massages to who's the lawyer? Dershowitz?
Yeah, Dershowitz, yeah.
Alan Dershowitz.
In Florida.
Yeah, some stuff did happen on the plane. Like I think
Well, and in Epstein's Florida home.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, I think the picture of Bill Clinton getting his shoulders massaged was like in the private PJ lobby or something, right?
Okay.
Usually for PJs there's a separate little fucking mini terminal or whatever the fuck.
Right.
I think that's where that happened too. So that doesn't necessarily absolve anybody just because they didn't go to the fucking pedo island.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I want to see that list when it comes out for sure. But I don't think we're gonna get the full fucking story out of that goddamn thing at all. Next up, ad-wise, we got Nocturne Industries. D'Anthony, why don't you tell us about?
Yeah, it's this right here. Night
Boom.
vision goggles. Not the helmet. This is from Team Wendy, but night vision goggles. See them?
How much those run you there?
This one right here is probably $7,500 for that whole rig.
Damn,
right?
dude. They're amazing. Well, we test them on the show.
They are, yeah. They're white phosphorus photonus tubes. They're fucking some of the best in the world. So they make some of the best products, the most lightweight stuff. They're up in New Hampshire, in the Shire, as they call it. They focus on bringing to market innovative, lightweight, rugged, end-user optimized and reliable night vision devices and night vision accessories as well, including like magnifiers and things like that. All their products are developed in-house. Okay. So we had him on the show, you guys will remember. He was an engineer over at SIG for a while, and then he took his fucking show on the road after that. SIG's Academy's up there somewhere. I don't. Have you ever been up there?
I've never been there. They sent me a few.
Yeah, we were supposed to go up there with Black Rifle back in the day, but well, a lot of our guys did. They actually went to their shootouts and stuff. But yeah, all their products are American-made, designed, built, tested in New Hampshire. Code Drinkin Bros for 15% off. Not the tubes, but the housings and the all the other peripherals. So these tubes probably run like $2,000 to $2,500 each for each tube.
Oh wow!
And then all the other stuff, like the housing and stuff, they make it custom for you, right? So it's like you can get them. These are polymer. They're nice. I really like these, but they also have aluminum builds that are a little bit lighter, a little bit more resistant to getting banged around and shit. But I fucking put these on and watch deer in my backyard,
right?
Or go hunting with them and shit like that. I'm not doing military operations, so.
But you could.
I could, yeah. So go use the code Drinkin Bros, all one word, for 15% off all the housings and peripherals. And also, if you're going to be at SHOT Show this year, go check them out at booth 62010. 62010, 62010. Go check them out. They'll have a bunch of their new products and stuff there that aren't available on the website yet. And if you're in the market for a night vision monocle or quad nods or any of that stuff, go to their fucking booth and they'll let you use them. They'll let you check them out so you can see which ones you like, which different fucking configurations you like and shit.
Yeah, they're incredible. Speaking of SHOT Show, a lot of people are asking where that panel is for you.
Hang on, let me pull it up.
Because a lot of people want to go to that. Obviously, they're a fan of the show. They're also a fan of Tim Kennedy and Brian Callen and those guys. So
and Rob O'Neill's going to stop by at the very beginning of it too. So
correct.
The event itself starts at 10:30, but come early. If you're going to come at like 10 o'clock, and we'll be fucking pressing the flesh, hanging out, talking shit.
Yeah.
It is at the Venetian, obviously, at the Sands Expo Center, Delfino Conference Room, 4102 to 4103. So 4102 and 4103 it's two conjoined rooms. That's where it'll be going on. You'll see all kinds of shit out front that'll tell you that we're there.
Okay. I know Justin Melnick from SEAL Team is going down there as well.
Yeah, well, they have a happy hour. So another thing that we're doing is I'm on the board of this company called Double Check that tries to help stop dumbs from getting, like, shitbag fucking retards, trench coat people from getting guns, right? Without infringing on people's 2A rights. Keep it out of the government's hand.
Yeah.
We're doing a thing at 2 o'clock at Hang on, let me fucking pull it up right quick so I know so I'm saying the right thing. We're doing a thing, a happy hour at 2:00, and it is at. Let me see the booth number. This
is on the 23rd.
23rd. It's on Wednesday, whatever day that is.
Yeah.
It's at booth 40652, the double check booth. You can find it in your little in the app or whatever. 40652. That's at 2, and then at 3 there's a happy hour over at Justin's. What was that? What was the booth? Do you remember that one?
Justin Melnick's?
Yeah,
I don't remember, but all your faves will be there. A lot of people were asking if we'd be going to SHOT Show. Dan is going. I'll be here doing shows back and forth, so that way we can keep the engines running over
no, this
here.
is Tuesday the 23rd.
Yeah.
That Justin's is. Mine is all on the 24th on Wednesday.
Okay.
Melnick, it's Persistent Systems. Justin Melnick, who is one of our business partners, and Pepper, one of his dogs from the show SEAL Team, are going to be there at 44155 booth at 3 from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday. The 23rd.
Dan loves hugs, so if you're there and you just want to come up and give him a big hug,
I'll be armed. So
just give him a huge hug and tell him you love the show.
Proceed at your own risk.
That's all you got to do.
I actually saw a Drinkin Bro at the gas station, or not gas station, at HEB yesterday.
Oh, really?
He stopped me in the aisle. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" High five. And I'm like, "Hey, I was buying Hard AF."
No shit.
Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, I took all of them. Do you want one?" He goes, "Oh no, those are too strong for me." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right. Too strong for me too, to be honest. I just don't give a shit."
That's the only thing I drink is 8%. That's it. That's the only way I can get down. Next up, we got Republican drama. Chip Roy said on CNN Monday that he thinks there is going to be some real conversations this week about how Republicans should move ahead as government funding deadlines approach. Sure, Chip. When pressed about making a move to oust Mike Johnson, as the House did in October with McCarthy, Roy said, it's not the road I prefer, but said, we'll see what happens this week. Huh, no shit. Roy expressed his frustration with the top-line spending deal Johnson announced in recent days, saying it uses budget gimmicks to increase spending above caps that were set during debt ceiling talks last year. Roy's comments came after he apparently threatened to block government funding until Democrats and President Biden agreed to border security measures. Johnson later said that he has spoken with Roy and claims his colleague had not intended to threaten a government shutdown. That's interesting. Mike Johnson, Mike not going to be here in next week. Maybe said Wednesday that he's not concerned about Chip Roy and the warning about potentially ousting the speaker over his spending deal with the Democrats. He said, look, I'm not real concerned about that. Chip Roy is one of my closest friends, which means they've never met probably. And then we agree on almost everything in principle. Sure. I don't buy any of this shit, do you?
No. No, I mean, it's I think MGT was given, or MTG, whatever the fuck her name is, was giving Chip Roy shit too, saying that this is clickbait.
It is.
Right. But I mean, it happens too. Like you're walking from the halls of Congress back to your office or back to the fucking congressional building or something, and some slapdick stuffs a microphone in your face. Like, hey, you going to shut the government down? It's like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It all gets blown out of proportion. But I do know that Republicans and the Freedom Caucus are not thrilled with this spending bill, the one we talked about on Monday that's going to end up being $1.7 trillion, basically. Yeah. And that 900 fucking billion of it is on defense or whatever. I know they're pissed about it. So who knows, man? I mean, I think they're just trying to use the recency of McCarthy getting ousted to hold this dude's feet to the fire, to be honest.
And forgive me, who's pissed off about it here?
The Freedom Caucus.
Okay.
Which is like, it used to be
12 of those. Was it 12?
12, yeah. So Chip Roy's one of them. I mean, I think Mike Johnson was one of them before
he was,
he became speaker. And then MTG was one before she went full McCarthy, or whatever the fuck happened with her. And then Boebert, who had a little dust up over the weekend as well.
Yeah. What was her dust up over the weekend?
She was out at a fucking restaurant or something, and her ex-husband came up and was like, hey, this is not McDonald's.
That's right,
Get back to McDonald's, bitch. Because that's where he fucking
allegedly, she punched him twice in the nose.
Well, that's what he had said, and then he recanted that yesterday, actually.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Weird, man.
Yeah, but she may have actually done it.
She was just jacking off dudes at plays, and it was all fun and flirty until punches were thrown, you know? Maybe she gives a fucking great HJ, and he was upset about it, you know?
Well, that's probably right. I mean, like, I don't think she's super hot or anything, but she probably does look. She probably is. She looks crazy-eyed enough to be fun.
Yeah. That looks like a good time. What do you got there, Bob?
I'm just pulling a video for the next story.
Oh, look at you. Look at you staying ahead of the game. Internet's out, and Bob's on fire here. Yeah, but look, as far as any of this shit is concerned, I'm not stoked with either of it. Me personally, I just didn't think either side wanted to knock down defense spending because they all seem like they're in on it and they want to get paid for it and everything else. So I'm surprised to hear that there is actually 12 people who want less defense spending. Yeah. So now this makes a little more sense, I guess. But 12 people aren't going to be enough to shut down.
Well, yeah, they can actually, because this is the narrowest majority since the 1970s in Congress.
Oh, got it.
So you need pretty much every Republican to get anything passed.
Okay.
And one of the things that the Freedom Caucus let the Speaker know is that they're not. They actually killed 3 votes yesterday. Not like voted no. They just said no. We're not even fucking giving you a quorum for this, right? So, yeah, they're shutting down non-spending bills as well now.
Gotcha.
Which is good. The entire fucking government should shut down forever.
Yeah. We'll see what happens here. Next up, ad-wise, we got Ketone IQ, hvmn.com/drinking bros.
I'm all hopped up on it now.
I know, same here. I took it right before we got on there. Yeah. Here it is, right here. Boom, it's right in front of my desk. All my shit, the First Form shit is always right on my desk right here so I don't forget. And then so is the Ketone IQ. Boom. And it's just one shot that pops out of here, and you're good to go for the day here. And it looks, here it is. It's a little tiny bottle. Boom. Just pop this down your gullet, and you're good to go. Really great for focus and concentration, and it doesn't have any of those crashy feelings that you have on like energy drinks and all that other shit. This is just a clean shot of energy in it. No crashing, no sugars, none of that shit. It's called Ketone IQ on the box. So if you're at Sprouts, by the way, it's at every single Sprouts in the nation. I know they keep growing and growing, but the DOD just invests a lot of money with these guys over there, and soldiers are using it, as well as the Tour de France. A lot of those guys are using it as well. And again, it's just a clean shot of energy boost. It's like brain fuel. I used to take the brain fuel by On It a long time ago, and then I discovered this. This is way fucking better, and it's one of my favorites there. So head on over to hvmn.com/drinkingbros for 30% off your first order. If you're asking what HVMN stands for, it's Health Via Modern Nutrition. And that's all it is, dude. It's just a boom, boom, a little clean shot, and you're good to go. Unlike that shit you see at the gas stations, man, you could lose your fucking tits on that shit. This is great, dude. I'm locked in for the day. I take a shot of it every single day, and I'm on subscription, so it just comes right to the office, and it's awesome. Big fan of these guys. Next up is Taylor Sheridan.
Harbinger.
Yeah. Of change?
Is Taylor Sheridan a harbinger of change? I don't know if you saw his interview on Rogan the other day.
I didn't. Was he on Rogan the other day?
Yeah. And it was like, they talked about a lot of stuff. Obviously, it's a 3-hour show, but one of the key things they talked about was how social activists in the U.S. have vilified like hard work and masculinity and shit like that. We talked about it with the ADL doing like mattresses or clean mattresses are racist now. But if you remember over last summer, it was organizations like what the fuck? The one that sues everybody, the ACLU, saying that like clean, like organized cupboards and hard work or whatever the fuck were all signs of whiteness. Like, what the fuck does that mean? So they talked about that for quite a bit. Sheridan mentioned this famous poem called If I Were the Devil, written and popularized by national radio commentator Paul Harvey in the mid-1960s. In the poem, Harvey describes how the biblical figure Satan would go about corrupting the world by subverting culture in the United States, and then, goes on to kind of compare that to what's going on even back then, as far back as the 1960s. So it's essentially like, if you've ever read the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis, it's a communication between an uncle demon in hell and his nephew that's on Earth trying to trick people into fucking being bad people or whatever. But really, it's just a treatise on human psychology, right? So,
so I've heard this before. Isn't this where he predicts what would happen?
Yeah. So Bob, pull up this poem. It's in the middle of the notes.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to see Sheridan stuff.
You can actually, if you want, you can play it. I like the voiceover. I don't know who did the voiceover in it, but you can play that clip if you want.
Yeah, it's like it's 3 minutes long, but you should watch this whole thing if you haven't seen it before. Oh, this isn't the right one.
Just do the Rogan one.
Just no, because I don't think they play it on there.
No.
Just search.
This is the link you put in there.
Yeah, I know it was the wrong link. Just search Paul Harvey, and it'll be probably the first one that pops up.
They did play it on Rogan, and they have the voice in there. But yeah, you're gonna have to play that Rogan clip. You can just scroll ahead to it because they actually pop up a video in the middle of it. By the way, here we go.
Were the devil. If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure.
AIDS.
Yeah.
In other words, if I were the devil, I'd
AIDS.
just keep right on doing what he's doing.
You can,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was a big topic of discussion on this episode, and you know, Sheridan goes on to say you can use the devil as a euphemism for anything you want. Like, it's not necessarily a religious point that's being made there, but the result is usually the same, and we're seeing it happen right now. He also recounted some of the rhetoric he's heard along the lines of, like, all these things are bad, work ethic, racist, like referring
masculinity.
to the ACLU's bullshit from over the summer. In an infamous incident, the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and culture shared a widely condemned chart about race, indicating that concepts such as hard work is key to success and the nuclear family and rugged individualisms are all aspects of, quote, white dominant culture. I don't even remember this happening, but that's really fucking stupid. So you can make the case right now. This is the point. The reason I put this in the in the show today. You can make the case that at present, Taylor Sheridan is the most prolific television writer and producer of this generation, right?
Yes.
I don't know who else it would be, frankly. Like, there have been people who have had one or two. I mean, I guess you could go to Gervais and Stephen Merchant, right, with The Office and Parks and Rec and all the other shit they've done.
But to that, I'll say no, and here's why. With Gervais, they were only doing like 8 episodes of their shows, and then that was it. Taylor Sheridan's doing a full 12, multiple seasons, all that other stuff.
Well, The Office did 23 sometimes. It was like dependent on the season.
The American one.
Yeah,
but Gervais didn't do anything.
But he was an EP, right? That's
No, it's just in credit only, and that's all he got. So, like, in today's world, it's Taylor Sheridan.
The only one who's close would be Shonda Rhimes, probably.
Maybe, yeah.
Does she write every episode, though?
No.
Yeah.
But she has like fucking 10 shows on the air.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
but that's like
Ryan Murphy, but writing this on a daily basis, multiple shows at the same time, is fucking nuts to me.
So from my perspective, not just the popularity, which his stuff is wildly popular, but also the volume, right?
Yeah.
He's the most prolific TV writer producer that exists right now, and to see him not just espousing traditional conservative views, but calling out the insanity of modern liberalism as well, feels like almost a tidal shift in the entertainment industry. And it's him doing this, going on Joe Rogan, the biggest show in the world, and doing that, I think gives cover to a lot of people who just want to be fucking normal dudes. Like, we have a lot of friends who are conservative people in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Some that are well known as that, like Sorbo and Sage Steele and Michelle Tafoya and people like that work in the entertainment industry that are conservative, but a lot of them who just don't want to talk about it, right? Because they don't want to fucking suffer the backlash. And this feels like this is like Michael Jordan being a Republican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe that's hyperbole, but who's bigger in the entertainment scene right now than Taylor Sheridan?
None.
Who's got more power? Maybe Danny McBride on a much lower level, just because he's anything he wants from HBO they give him. Power-wise, right?
Well, let me read off his list to you here, because this is what he's created and written. Special Ops Lioness, which is the new one with Nicole Kidman. Mayor of Kingstown, which they were waiting for Snowplow to come back. Jeremy Renner, which he is.
Great.
It is.
It's fucking great.
And so they're going to shoot another one. He's healthy. He's able to come back and do it. Congrats to Snowplow there. 1923, created and written by. Tulsa King, created and written by with Sylvester Stallone. Yellowstone, created and written by.
And think about all the people in those. Nicole Kidman, Harrison Ford, what's her name?
Helen Mirren.
Faith Hill and Sly, Faith Hill and what's his nuts?
Tim McGraw.
And then all the cast, like Costner and all those guys as well.
Nuts.
I mean, it's like some of the biggest stars in the not just in Hollywood, but in the history of Hollywood.
And I'm not even close to being done. 1883, created and written by.
Well, that's Faith Hill and
right, and he's writing these episodes. Sicario.
The first Sicario was him too. I forgot about
Hell
that.
or High Water, both the sequel and the first one. I mean, it's fucking insane.
So
what this guy's just turned out, and this is only, by the way, in 9 years.
Yeah,
this is the last 9 years. All those credits I just read to you are in a 9-year span. It's mind altering.
So I don't know that I've seen anybody at this level of success take such a hard stand on conservative traditional values.
Not in Hollywood,
like in a major media thing like this. Like, Costner is super Republican. Well, that's not true. He's kind of environmentalist a little bit. He's a Hollywood Republican, I guess. But
no, I think he voted for somebody else and got killed for it last year. Election
he was
cycle.
Supporting Liz Cheney.
That's what it was.
But he still I think typically votes.
Yeah, he's a Republican.
Yeah.
But that's a Hollywood Republican would vote for Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger, right? Come on.
Probably.
But more or less conservative for the most part, I guess. Not in the modern sense, but
he also has a show upcoming with Billy Bob Thornton.
Another Republican.
Called Landman. There's the 4-6s.
Oh yeah, dude. It's,
I don't even know. Is there anybody
endless.
famous on 4-6s though?
I don't know that it's been
It hasn't. They didn't shot it.
Like
They
some of
haven't
the
cast.
some
it
of
hasn't
the
been cast or shot yet.
I think Costner's not got a cameo, but I think Rip's gonna cameo.
Yeah.
I think.
Him and Costner's relationship is done.
Yeah.
That's all over.
Well, I don't know that that's Taylor's fault. I think that's Paramount's fault. To be honest.
it's Kevin Costner's fault.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but
He's
it's between
a fucking dick.
him and Paramount. They don't want to do any fucking work.
No.
But anyways, the point is, this is the most in this modern weird ass Hollywood era where you're just not allowed to think differently. He's the most famous dude, or not maybe not the most famous, but he is the most prolific dude going right now.
And here's the thing that you and I bitched about at the end of Drinkin' Bros yesterday with Pat McAfee. If you recognize you have the power and you do all of this shit, and let's face it, in the sports world, there's nobody that does more than McAfee right now, arguably. You have the power in that situation. So I think Taylor Sheridan going on Rogan, he has all the power. I mean, he basically owns Paramount Plus.
Yeah. Which is CBS.
Yeah.
Like for all intents, CBS broadcast, but CBS Digital belongs to Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like one of the third. It's like I think the third largest streaming platform that exists.
But even CBS during the strikes, they reran Yellowstone on Sunday nights, and the ratings crushed for CBS. And there were reruns of a show that we already saw 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I mean,
nuts.
sometimes Pat will take a stand, right? So
Not yesterday.
2 days after going off on Norby, he fucking posted a picture on Instagram of him hanging out with Norby's boss and at the Colts Stadium.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he'll thumb his nose at people and shit like that. And then now he's trying to walk it back on Twitter yesterday. It's like,
it's
actually,
terrible.
it always ends at the end of the season. Like, then why'd you do a whole fucking half a show
No need.
on dismissing him? This isn't an airport. You don't have to fucking announce your departure, fuckface.
Sure don't. You sure fucking don't.
Anyways,
but
who cares?
it's cool to see because Taylor, look, everybody in Hollywood will tell you, Taylor knows how much power he has.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So him going on Rogan and doing this is it's cool. Because look, hopefully this shit changes. And let's face it, the most fucking watched shows on television are these.
Yeah. And believe it or not, you can be like a fucking traditional conservative and still tell stories of like strong women throughout history.
Oh, yeah,
which he's
dude.
done repeatedly, or the natives or whatever else. You don't have to be a fucking liberal cuck to participate in other people's culture and shine some light on it. It's like, oh, I've got to fucking have some diversity. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter who the subjects are, provided it's entertaining, right? So you go to that, like if you want to fucking actually do this is what our buddy, a couple of our buddies, a couple of comedians were talking about this on a podcast the other day, but about comic book characters and how they just like, oh, it's the Disney thing, fucking make her gay, make it a chick, make her gay, or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
put a chick in it, make her gay. Come up with new characters. Actually learn something about that culture and then develop a character for it instead of just like, oh, it's native Superman. Like, what the fuck? man?
Yeah, right.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't give a shit that you're turning Superman native. I don't need Superman to be white for it to be entertaining. I need it to be original and entertaining.
Right.
Is what I need.
And he's certainly doing that. Good for him. And you can't argue with the numbers because if Paramount were to fire him, Netflix would back up the truck and give him, $200 million.
HBO would give him $1 billion.
Oh God, anybody would. I mean, you'd be dumb not to.
I don't think he'd go to HBO because HBO told him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, maybe he does seem like the kind. He's reached a level of power at this point where he can fucking tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Which would be really satisfying to tell home box office to fuck off.
I think he'd love to go to Netflix, to be honest with you, because everybody's got it still, and Paramount is in the stages of being bought right now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, how many active users does Netflix have globally? Like 1.2 billion or something like that?
Yeah, it's
a
nuts.
lot.
And Paramount Plus doesn't have that. Let's face it.
Yeah.
So he could leave and do whatever he wants, which is why he's able to go on shows and say whatever he wants.
I don't think he's going to be around much longer.
Alive?
No. Like, why would you keep doing this? You own the 4-6s. Go fucking raise cows, dude.
Because he's got to pay it off is the problem.
Well, it's a
that deal that he got is simply to pay off that ranch.
that is a revenue generating ranch.
It is.
Not it is the highest revenue generating ranch on earth.
It's a fuck ton of work, and I think he's happy
Sure,
doing
it's a lot of work.
making movies and TV shows and shit.
Like I don't.
And then
think,
having the studios pay for it because they pay him for that every day.
Oh
yeah. So
yeah, but he could keep doing that.
oh
He
yeah,
could keep renting shit out to fucking Hollywood.
for sure. Next up, ad-wise, we got our old friends from Diet Smoke. Love Diet Smoke. For those of you new to THC, we'll break it down for you. Diet Smoke crafts their premium THC products from 100% American-grown hemp. Speaking of crafting, the fellas over at DietSmoke.com cooked up another can't-miss product. I love these things. They're the new Shroom THC blending gummies. They've launched, and they're perfect. What I liked is they start off with 5 milligrams at least, so you can kind of ease into them. Now, I did pop in a second and a third one night, and I laughed my ass off, and it was beautiful. Had one of the best nights of my life. Really, really fun. My wife and I also took him in Vegas. We went to the Sphere. That was a really good time as well. Highly recommend these. If you're out there, man, and you're buying fucking gummies off the street or from some bullshit person, like, don't trust any of that shit. This is real THC and real fucking gummies. They come in milligrams from 5 all the way up to 150 milligrams per gummy over there. The new ones with the mushrooms are fucking bomb. They're discreetly shipped. Nobody will fucking know. If you do have a job, though, where you get drug tested, you will piss hot. It's THC, man. It's weed. So, yeah, you're going to piss hot for this shit. But these are the best in the biz. Each one is even. It's the only gummies I've ever had that are completely even on every single one. I don't really know why. But even if you're going to those weird head shops in L.A. or all the other shit that's got it, it's still kind of a guess. These guys take the guess out of it. They got a QR code on the bag. You can scan it, see that they're the proper milligrams that you signed up for and all that other stuff. Love these guys. And if you don't absolutely love the experience over there, the customer service team will take it back for you and get your money back. They're great. Big fan. Zero complaints here. I'm a lifetime customer of these guys, dude. I'm a huge fan since day one. Here's the part for our listeners here. You guys can go to dietsmoke.com, use the code DB50 for 50% off any item, including the all-new Shroom gummies. Again, that is promo code DB50 for 50% off any item over there. And believe me, I've used my own promo code more than a few times over there. Remember, though, you must be 21 years or older to purchase. Enjoy responsibly, and cheers to Diet Smoke. Go to dietsmoke.com, promo code DB50 for 50% off one item over there. Next up, we got a woman who's stolen $100 million from the U.S. Army. Look at her.
Yeah. This is a crazy
millionaire
story.
con woman, huh?
Yeah.
Shit. She's been accused of swindling the U.S. Army out of $100 million over 6 years by putting cash into her fake military youth business and splurging it on 31 homes and more than 70 supercars and motorcycles. Let's go. Her name is Janet Mello, 57 years old.
Not very mellow of her to steal from the Army like that.
Nailed
so
it.
she set up, I guess, a fucking fake charity.
Oh, God.
That's like, well, maybe it could be a for-profit too. I don't know, actually, but.
We got a picture of this bruiser, Bob. Look up Janet Mello on Google.
She's 57.
57.
She allegedly took military funds and spent millions of dollars on jewelry, clothing, luxury vehicles, real estate, and what will probably end up being the biggest fraud case the U.S. military has ever dealt with. She worked for the Army at Fort Sam down in San Antonio.
Oh, no shit.
As a CYS financial program manager. In 2016, she allegedly created a shell company, Child Health and Youth Lifelong Development, which was not a real company.
No.
And then she funneled money into it for 6+ years.
Okay.
The firm, which was meant to help children of Army personnel, allegedly never did any actual work. Instead, it received dozens of monetary grants without examinations for 6 years. Now, Mello's been, she has nearly 80 vehicles and 31 properties worth up to $4 million.
Holy shit.
Each.
Good for her, dude.
Across 5 states. Federal prosecutors allege she lived a life of luxury and opulence that was clearly not supported by her $130,000 a year government salary. She reported that her company earned a profit of $483 on revenue of $2,152 for training consultations in 2017. But since then, she has not filed any tax returns, but has collected $100 million.
Holy shit. Yeah. Look at her, though. She's her middle name is Yamanaka on here, and I knew she was going to have a little Asian flair in there.
Well, she's got chola eyebrows.
She does, but that's the San Antonio vibe.
Yeah, you can't. She's just trying to fit in.
Maybe. Do you think she pulls up to people in traffic and says, "You gonna blast this fool or what, Holmes?"
I think she probably does. Yeah.
She should. She should.
What goes through someone's mind to shave off their eyebrows
And then repaint them back on?
and then do that? My aunt did that.
Did she?
Yeah.
What's
She wasn't cholo. She's like fucking full on white.
Is my wife still here? Jesse, grab a mic over there. Why do people shave off? Why do women shave off their eyebrows? Why do they shave them off and then paint them on like this? I don't really understand this.
Take your
whole
time.
thing.
We're gonna live forever.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, Jesse.
Sorry,
come
I'm
on.
wallpapering.
Oh, look at you.
Because they weren't in the right place in the.
The
they
eyebrows weren't in the
where
right
they wanted
place.
them.
And does this look like the fucking right place
Look
to
at
you?
that. She looks
So
surprised.
if you could see where her, so it's usually where your eyebrow bone is, right?
Right.
So it's gonna be straight across there, and she wanted a fun little arc higher.
She looks like the McDonald's sign.
So
Yeah.
she could look like surprised and youthful and awake, you know? But
Is that like cheaper
where
than
your eyebrows
Botox?
are where they are, unless you draw them somewhere else.
No, you can get like surgery and shit, right?
For what?
To pull the skin up more a little
To
bit.
cut the eyebrow out and then just
No.
turn it
They
into
do.
like a
They cut
stick-on
around the scalp
mustache?
and pull it up a little bit, I think, but it doesn't look very good. It probably looks better than this, though. It looks natural.
Yeah.
Like you're not fucking with the hair. This is obviously painted on. This is stupid.
Or you can get them tattooed on, right?
You
well,
get 'em
that's
tattooed on.
everybody does that. That's just to make it look thicker, though. That's not.
Really?
Yeah, microblading. That's just to make it look thicker.
Why? Why do you want thicker eyebrows?
Because of the Kardashians, they made it up.
Because we tweezed them too much when that was like in style, and they don't grow back. Like
No shit.
eyebrows are a thing that like whatever you decide in high school better be in trend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Or just leave your
Sad.
fucking face alone. It's always a good idea to leave your fucking face alone.
Sure is.
Jesus Christ. Yes.
For everybody.
Well, if it's that
a
bad,
blanket
if it's that bad, remove your entire head.
Yeah, you can just remove your entire head from
So
that body.
this bitch, let's see. Last year, she wired, actually a couple months ago, she wired $270,000 to herself to buy a 2023 Range Rover. Sent herself $3.3 million to purchase real estate in Canyon Lake, Texas, which is not too far from here.
Yeah.
78 luxury cars and motorbikes. Let's see, 31 real properties, several mansions worth over $3 million, a couple of ranches, acres of farmland, a couple of high-rise apartments and condos.
Yes. All of them.
And let's see, she just got charged with 10 counts of theft and fraud and a bunch of other bullshit. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
And then 5 counts of mail fraud as well.
Yeah, this is the largest scam that I can remember from the military.
And she's only facing up to 20 years in prison. So, which is really interesting because probably will not get the max sentence. Nobody ever does.
No.
She'll take a plea deal and get maybe 8 years and serve 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Right. And if she was smart enough to get away with any of it, to hide any of the money, still going to be set. So probably worth it, to be honest.
Well,
Like I know how incompetent the military is at keeping track of all this stuff.
Yeah.
So if they think she took $100 million, she probably took $1 billion, right?
Probably
They're
easily.
they're the fucking worst. We haven't the DoD, the Pentagon hasn't passed a fucking audit since the 90s. Mm-hmm. Like for real. So I think 98 was the last time they actually passed one. So who knows? This bitch probably owns islands somewhere.
I don't know, but
And
yeah.
I think we need to fucking hook her up with Giorgio.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's out there, he's making money, he's doing stuff, but I still think he wants that fucking
That life,
that
yeah.
sugar mama.
Why not?
And his parents live down in Puerto Rico anyway, so he's comfortable with the Caribbean.
Well, and look, anybody who lives in Puerto Rico, let's face it, you're trying to hide shit from the government anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with his parents.
Yeah. Well, it's just Puerto Rico in general. Aren't the Paul brothers down there too? They moved all their shit down there. There's no taxes or something
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, Puerto Rico it doesn't pay federal tax.
Yeah. So,
Whatever.
It makes sense. But you can find that lovely broad probably in about 8 years, I would say. If you're into a surprised face all the time. If you have a small dick, it'd be great, though, because then that way every time she's sucking it, it would be like, oh my goodness. I was unaware it was going to be that big. That's crazy. At least that's what she'll think mentally as you're looking down at her there. Last but not least here, I know we have a sports show, Drinkin' Bros Sports. Subscribe over there if you haven't already. It's a different podcast and a different RSS feed. We do that roughly 3 to 4 times a week, depending upon college football and some other sports. But this one is worthy of fake news here because Nick Saban, the greatest college football coach of all time, in my opinion, I think we all share the same opinion on that, right? Has announced that he is retiring. This came as a huge shock for a lot of people, especially because a couple months ago, actually on McAfee, he said that he had no desire to retire ever and felt good, strong, and was ready to go for another few more years. So there wasn't any implications of this. However, Scott Van Pelt on ESPN said that he had heard whispers behind the scenes. This was certainly a shock to some of their recruits, and he did it during the transfer portal, so they couldn't transfer immediately here. Yeah. And look, at 17 seasons in Alabama, what did he win? 6 national championships there. Yep. I think he won another with LSU. I think he's got 7 total. I believe on that Mount Rushmore of coaching, it's probably him, Bear Bryant, Woody Hayes, maybe Bo Schembechler up there.
That's, the first 4? The first 3 for sure.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
I know Woody Hayes has got 5. I don't know who's at 4th. Bob, how many does Bo Schembechler have?
Let me check. I had that list.
He might have
earlier.
3.
Urban's only got 2, right?
Urban's got 3.
Oh, he's got 3 as well. So
1 at Ohio State, 2 at Florida.
You got to put him in there too, then.
So it's like Urban. I mean, so Saban has 7, Bear Bryant has 6, Woody Hayes, and then the Minnesota coach from like the 30s.
Yeah,
5.
they won 3. They won
right.
3 in a row.
Right.
Yeah, 34 to 36.
You've got Southern Cal, O.J. Simpson's coach John McKay has 4. Frank Lee with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish from the 40s has 4.
Nothing before the fucking
in the
60s
modern era.
matters.
Yeah.
Even the 70s in college.
Yeah, if you want to go more modern, Urban Meyer 3, Tom Osborne of Nebraska 3,
Tom,
Barry Switzer at OU 3,
and
That's right.
and a Super Bowl too,
and a Super Bowl, yeah.
in '97.
Oh yeah. But these look, the list is very, very short here, and I hated playing against this fucking dude. You know, when it was my team, obviously going against him. But you always respected him because he is the best. I guess the timing of it was shocking to me. Was not expecting to hear that. We got 3 in a row yesterday. We got Pete Carroll, we got Nick Saban, and then we got Belichick last night. Now, Belichick is going to continue coaching. However, Saban says he is not. Do you believe him?
Do I believe Saban?
Yeah, do you think he's done for good?
Before this season, I said Nick Saban was going to retire after this year. Did I not?
No, yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
Because he doesn't want us to do this transfer portal NIL bullshit. He doesn't want to do it.
That's what I said on Twitter yesterday.
I think it was a big shock. Not a shock necessarily, but I think it was a big surprise to a lot of people in the early 2010s when Saban went from old school ground and pound into the new era of college football, and he fucking was the best. He pivoted to what's going on now, and he was the best at it for a while. But this stuff I just don't think he ever wanted anything to do with this shit, to be honest. And I don't blame him.
I don't think he wanted to do anything to do with NIL. I don't think he wanted to do anything with the transfer portal.
I mean, he's talked so much shit over the past couple years about it, just snide comments, calling people out, and whatever the fuck else. It's
even quarterbacks throwing for 400 or 500 yards and all that shit. He was never a fan of that. He always wanted big, strong running backs. Yeah. Big, strong defenses, and look, he did the best he could with Milroe. Yeah, but let's face it, I'm sure he wasn't stoked.
A guy like that cares about, like you do. You honor the university and the game and yourself by doing the right thing and performing well. That's how a man like Nick Saban thinks. He's an old school guy, right? And this, like, we've got to bribe people to come here. There's no way it would have ever sat well with him. No. That's why he's in. I know his tenure in the NFL wasn't great anyways. But the reason he's in the NFL the reason he stayed in college isn't because he wasn't successful in the NFL necessarily. It's because that's the style of leadership he likes. He likes taking, like, young men and making them into fucking dudes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't want to deal with millionaires.
Yeah.
And that's what he has to deal with in college now. These kids are fucking millionaires.
And imagine that. Instead of a fucking 25 millionaire with something to lose, you've got some fucking slapdick 19-year-old. Right?
Nuts, dude.
Like, I just don't think I think you could tell over the last couple of seasons he just didn't want anything to do with that. But it doesn't matter. His legacy is cemented. There's nobody that's ever done it like him.
He's the best of all time.
Like, I don't think anybody has ever won multiple championships in two very different styles like that, right? I mean, because when Bear Bryant was winning all those titles, even Woody Hayes, like, it was the same game.
Right.
Same thing over and over and over again. I mean, I guess maybe you could say Osborne was always ground and pound too. Maybe Urban, but he was always a West Coast offense guy, right?
He would air it out. Tebow kind of changed his mind a little bit, but
yeah, they ran a lot, but Tebow still threw the ball.
Yeah,
he
threw
so
it.
he ran. I mean, primarily a West Coast offense. He was always the same. Saban went from one very specific style of football to a completely different style, and he won multiple championships in both of those styles.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can argue that he's the best ever. I mean, in the SEC, which is the most competitive conference, he won 201 games in 17 seasons.
16 straight 10-win seasons.
16 straight 10-win seasons. So to compare Bear Bryant, 25 seasons in the SEC, he won 232 games. So in 8 more seasons, he only won 31 more games.
Here's a fun stat I caught.
And it's way more competitive today in the SEC than it was in Bear Bryant's time. Let's be fucking clear about that, right?
Right.
One stat I saw is that Nick Saban had 44 first-round draft picks and 29 losses.
Man. Hell of a career out of that guy. I think the other factor, too, is going to this new playoff system of 12 teams. I don't think he wanted to deal with a 17-game season either for that shit.
He did give a reason. Reese Davis interviewed him.
Oh, he did? What was it? What did he say?
He said, essentially, he had to, for whatever reason, take a bigger role with the defense this year. And
his defensive coordinator is retiring, so or he did retire, so maybe there was something wrong with him health-wise.
That's the whole thing, is he had to constantly replace coordinators too.
They got picked off.
He said age just caught up with him. Honestly, he was like, I was way more exhausted. He was like, I just couldn't not confront the fact that I did a worse job than I would have 10 years ago, having to take on extra responsibility because of my age.
Well,
that's interesting.
He's got nothing left to prove.
No.
13 SEC championships, 6 national titles.
7.
That's it. 7, yes,
national
but
titles.
6 with Alabama.
6 with
I
Alabama.
don't think he wanted to be Petrino or Bowden.
Yeah,
I don't either. Just being there, just an old body on the side.
Well, he also doesn't have any kids in the coaching staff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I think that's one of the reasons Belichick hung on in New England so long. Just to keep his guys' job. Like, they're going to get jobs elsewhere, or even maybe stay in New England. They're pretty good. The defensive coordinator kid's pretty good.
Yeah. One comment though that I heard a lot of people say yesterday that I want to dismiss is this comment about Saban where they said once NIL got introduced to college football, he no longer had an advantage. I hate that fucking statement so much. Because what was his advantage? Just being a great recruiter and winning championships every year and getting everybody to come to your school? Yeah. Fuck off with that.
2 car dealerships. That's his advantage.
Yeah. He was too good of a coach.
I also saw the Dodge Charger got discontinued in 2023, so that's why he retired.
That could be it, yeah.
Very valid. Very valid.
He's going to go get the last one off the line and drive it into the sunset like fucking Thelma and Louise. He's going to drive off the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. It was an old black and white article that was floating around too yesterday because all those guys that I just mentioned retired. Apparently, I guess at Ohio State, and I didn't know this until reading this yesterday, Nick Saban replaced Pete Carroll as their DB coach in 1980. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, how old are both? Oh, they're both 72 years old, which is pretty wild to me.
And how old is Belichick?
Belichick, I think, is 72, right? All 3 of them.
Didn't Saban hire Belichick?
No, Belichick
at Cleveland.
Cleveland
as a DB coach or something.
DC.
Oh, it's a DC.
Sure. Yeah, it's very, very, very interesting. But Belichick's going on. He's said, I'm not quitting. I'm coaching. So
they're going to have a podcast together.
Boy, could you imagine that?
I
couldn't listen to it.
Belichick's going to San Diego, and Harbaugh's going to Atlanta.
No,
We're speaking it into existence. Who's taking over Alabama? Is Dabo coming?
So that's what I told my friends in the group chat yesterday. My
or are they
money's
going to
on
go
Dabo.
because all their coordinators keep fucking retire or getting.
My money's on Dabo.
You want to be the guy after the guy, right? Like there's going to be a person that replaces Saban that's going to get ran out of town in 2 or 3 years. I think Lane Kiffin is going to wait those 2 or 3 years, and Lane Kiffin will be your coach in 3 years at Alabama.
Yeesh. I don't think Lane's good enough for that fan base. that fan base is just as rabid as Ohio State.
But
like there's no way.
The next
put up with
coach,
that
I think
shit.
it's going to be kind of like a dud.
Well, look, I looked it up on MyBookie. We'll throw it back to MyBookie.com. Their odds, they've got Dan Lanning at plus 300.
No, he's gone.
Said he's not doing it.
They've got Dabo Sweeney at plus 350 over there. The tough one for me about Dan Lanning out of Oregon is he just got started. I mean, it's his
He
first
just
year
dropped
there.
And they just moved to the Big
Literally.
Ten, too.
No,
Yeah.
he literally this morning dropped a hype video saying I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Good.
And they just
Good.
they're-
He just got there a year ago.
and they're moving to the to a real
Big Ten,
conference
yeah,
now. Like,
dude.
there's no fucking way I would leave Oregon.
I agree. And Oregon's got
Because
the
Alabama's
money.
going to go into a rebuild. And like the transfer portal thing will work itself out, but they're already getting decommits. Of course they are.
Of course they are, yeah. Look, everybody came for Saban, and like when this portal opens up again, and what is it, the end of the month or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Forget
They're all
it. It's going to
gone,
be
dude.
Bulls on
Yeah.
parade.
Which is,
they're fucking out of there.
the SEC maybe to some degree, but I think the Big Ten is going to be picking the fucking bones. I think half of the talent on Alabama's team is going to the fucking Big Ten.
A lot of it's going to Ohio State. That's what I heard. We'll see what happens here. Now it's the point in the show we get to the Drinkin' Bro of the Week. Again, if you're in the Austin area, we'd love to just have you on the show. We got a couple of listeners back there. Who brought me the Dos Amigos over there? Pop up, walk on up. He can't be surprised by this.
I know. On his way.
Is he still here? Okay, cool.
Can
cool.
I float an idea to you?
Go ahead.
For the next Bama coach?
Yeah.
Ryan Day.
No, not in 1 million years. Unless Vrabel took the job at Ohio State and then they fired Ryan Day. Sure. Who? Arthur Smith. Oh God, have fun with that. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I'll tell you who got rich though off of Saban's retiring is Sark out of Texas. They're gonna have to back up the truck to keep him here.
I kind of think Sark's going.
I don't think he's going. I think he's going to stay, and I think he's going to get more money. Put that mic about an inch from your face. It is a talk show here. There we go. Boom. You had it hanging up in the sky. I was like, the fuck? Yeah. Thank you very much, by the way.
Well, I couldn't make it for the Christmas party because I had to go back to work that day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? I'll make it when I go on my 2 weeks off. I'll make it out here and bring y'all. I drink too much, but I always give everybody alcohol for Christmas. So it's like I'll get everybody their own bottle of alcohol. So.
Unbelievably grateful. What did you get D'Anthony there?
A bottle of 10-year Ardbeg.
Oh, shit,
Scotch.
dude. There you go.
So,
and you got me the Dos Amigos. Casamigos.
Casamigos.
Forgive me.
Tequila.
Casamigos over there.
Yeah, I got Delco bottle of Tito's vodka. And I got Rob a bottle of Woodford. Coop and Joel. I got them a bottle of Garrison Brothers.
There you go.
I don't know anything about it. All I know is it's expensive as shit.
Those guys will fucking drink liquor out of a trash can, so it doesn't really matter. Delco, take your bottle home with you. The last one that bottle that somebody brought for Delco, I believe Joel drank with a bunch of listeners and they killed it. So.
Oh, and I also got Jesse a bottle of Cabernet and a bottle of Rosé.
God damn it, dude! You're the fucking best.
I know nothing about any type of wine, so I was just like $50, $60
Jesse
for a bottle.
Jesse says you did good, dude. So you're good to go.
Well, that wasn't me. That was the lady at the liquor store. She's like, winos come in here and buy the shit out of these two. Here you go.
Fantastic. And tell everybody your full name.
Clint Sparks.
There you go. Who do you want to give Drinkin' Bro of the Week to?
Well, last time I gave it to my dad, and but I'm gonna give it to all you guys.
Oh, thanks, man.
Because you guys give us endless entertainment. Like I laughed my ass off, like literally for like start to finish on y'all shows, and like my coworkers are like, "What the fuck are you?" Because I have my my earbuds in listening to y'all, and they're like, "What the fuck are you listening to?" And it's just laughing my ass off.
It keeps getting crazier every day.
Dude, that Mike Posner episode.
Bro,
dude, that was fucking great.
It's one of the greatest episodes ever, and we've gotten a bunch of DMs from it where they're like, "Holy shit, I had no idea he was going to be that cool." He rocked,
dude. The first like 2 minutes, he was like, "What the fuck kind of
going on
episode did I come on?"
Great, it was great, and so we became homies afterwards. cool thing is, like, he gets it and everything else. And we were texting last night, and I was just like, yo, like, you rocked. Come back. I think we'll be back here maybe the end of March.
Yeah, he warmed
April.
up to it, and I was like, okay. Because I thought at the beginning, I thought he was going to be like,
I didn't know.
Kind of caged up. And
I have no idea.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it is when you have an episode like that, and then they turn out to be awesome, and you're just like, holy shit, that guy fucking rocked.
Yeah.
And it's the best. And you wouldn't necessarily go to that one in the catalog, you know, out of the 2000, but I'm telling you.
Yeah,
go listen to Mike Posner
I almost
interview.
didn't watch it. Just
because you're like, all right, if you might not know.
Okay, you know, you got to guess, you know, Mike Posner, he's probably just on there for, you know, just to run through like a bunch of podcasts, you know, to promote his stuff.
Sure.
But
we try not to do that with people where we're like, hey, dude, if you're going to do it, let's fucking do it.
He was fucking cool.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend downloading that episode. It was fucking great.
It was great.
Who else is back there with you today?
I just met these guys.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, I nobody came with me. But,
there you go. Come on up. The teacher.
There's another guy. Yeah, he's a.
Oh, you guys didn't come together?
No, he's a teacher.
You guys look like fucking brothers,
and
dude.
Coach from Waco.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I just met him here.
Come on in. You guys look like brothers. Shit, I just assumed you were related. Everybody's got the resting January 6th face that comes in here. It's a joke from our buddy Tyler Fish, by the way, who is on the show. Put that mic about an inch from your face. There you go, sir. What's your name?
Bobby. Last name redacted for teaching, coaching purposes.
Yeah.
So
you got that real deep voice, Bobby.
Well, you know, it is what it is. So.
Sure is. Hey, y'all are doing drills today, okay? Drills until you puke. You're doing suicides until you puke today, all right, boys? So you're a football coach.
Yeah, football, baseball.
Hell yeah. Texas is fucking for real down here, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's you know, it's one of those things where you got to be about the life. So,
but for both. So here's my impression of it, because I grew up in Georgia, and then college in Ohio and all that other stuff. So I got to see what Ohio football is like. Texas, to me, is probably one of the only two sports states where they take baseball and football equally as seriously. Where you're just like from the time you can pick up a goddamn bat at 2 years old. Like, it's crazy here.
Oh, yeah, no. I coach travel baseball, like, during the summer, and, I mean, the amount of places we'll go where it's, like, so I used to be out in West Texas, so we would go to Texas Tech out in Lubbock, Division I program, we'd have half of our tournaments there. You have, tournaments at Baylor all the time. You have tournaments at TCU all the time. I mean, so baseball, yeah, like you said, it's just as big as, even basketball too is just as.
I won't give you basketball. I'm coaching basketball right now. I'm not going to give that one to you.
In the bigger cities, like in DFW, Houston, like Austin, maybe not so much, but like DFW and Houston, like those AAU teams, and like out in West Texas.
Houston, I'll give you. Dallas, I'm not going to give you. That's white. But it's pretty white. Austin's pretty white,
but Dallas is not pretty white.
Is it really?
DeSoto, Duncanville, like those kind of schools where like they really get after it.
Okay,
it's not.
Okay, because Georgia with Atlanta, hoops there in Atlanta.
Yeah,
forget about it, dude. I thought it was awesome until I got smoked by the best at one of those Nike AAU camps.
Oh yeah, no, I was never good enough. Like I was a baseball kid, like growing up. So like I was short, fat, and white. So basketball was never anything. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It was baseball was always the thing. Basketball quit being a thing in middle school when you started having to try out, and you're like, oh, this is not going to work for me.
Yeah.
So
I get it, man. Who do you want to give Drinkin' Bro of the Week to?
It's stock standard, but I got to give it to my wife.
Sure.
She is, the one who puts up with my bullshit. With the whole coaching thing, she's basically single for 8 months out of the year.
The hours are fucking nuts. And like, dude, at least tell my wife that, because I'm like, she thinks we travel, through the fall for all this stuff. But I'm only out of town for 36 hours or whatever, but I'm pretty here most of the days, right? But you guys, I don't think people really understand how intense a coaching schedule is. Like, it's film study. It's all that fucking shit, and it's endless.
Yeah, like Friday nights. So at this job, luckily, I was able to find a house, like, close by. So I only have, like, a 5-10 minute commute. At my last job, I had a 45-minute drive. Mm-hmm. So some of these places out in West Texas, you don't get home till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, you got to go back to work at 7 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I slept in the coach's office. And my wife is all aboard for it. She's like, this is what you want to do. you were doing other things. You were miserable doing it. So go do this. And so she's been with me the whole time. I mean, you know, she's not a huge fan of the show. She kind of grits through it. Like, she likes softcore history and she likes RPR, but she is not like, she's like, oh, we're gonna listen to like Drinkin' Bros Maine. She's like she'll deal with the sports. She'll deal with the sports because she's like, okay, like NFL, whatever.
Yeah.
But she's like, really? We're listening to fake news? Like,
oh
yeah, when I put up like on the Monday shows, when I put it up on the big TV,
yeah,
she's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, what are these the memes? Oh.
What's her name?
Her name's Haley.
Haley, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, Haley,
she
okay?
loves it.
Yeah.
So.
Haley, we love to have you over here, okay? Jump on in, water's warm, as Bob likes to say. We appreciate you being here, man. And for real, man, coaching high school athletics is hard. It doesn't pay that great, and the hours are fucking brutal. So hopefully you hit the big time, you become, you know, the head coach. Head coaching at these fucking high schools in Texas pays a lot of money, though.
Yeah, for those football jobs, yeah, it does.
God damn, it does, doesn't it? Even in Georgia, shit. My coach got picked off by somebody else, and I was like, "What's he making? What's Coach Waters making over there?" And he was making about $175 at that new job, and that was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So, I mean, he's you can do it.
Oh yeah,
if you put the time in, you become that dude. You can make a fuck ton of money.
Oh yeah,
and everywhere we go here too, by the way. I won't say what school it is because my kids are going there probably, but the high school coaches for football and baseball in particular, everybody in the fucking town knows who they are. Car dealerships, everybody, and it's always because their kid is going to be coming up in that system and they want to fucking play for him. They get everything, dude. They get the free meals, they get the cars, they get the cool shit. And I'm like, all right, it's a good gig. It's just it's hard to get there, you know?
Oh yeah, it's one of those. Things. It's good and bad. If everybody knows who you are, all of a sudden you start losing and everybody knows where you're at.
They're putting for sale signs in your yard,
just
dude.
like Friday Night Lights.
It's identical. Well, cheers. Thanks for being here. There was a couple other hombres who walked in the back. Are they still here? Or are they gone? Yeah, do you want to come up, or are they like, no, we can't do this bullshit today? Yeah. I understand it. Don't worry about it. You got real lives and real jobs, and you're like, hey, dude, I can't be on this fuck fest. You guys said the word retard 48 times today. I understand it. But they've got the merch on. We appreciate the support. Go to drinkinbros.com and pick up the new merch. All of it's available. Now we're going to be adding more stuff to the store here pretty soon. And as always, go to iTunes, rate the show 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star and you can walk away. I told you, shut the fuck up. After 10,000 reviews. Spotify, we're getting real close. 7,600 reviews over there, 7,100 over on iTunes. We're super close. I don't want to say it anymore, so just fucking do it, all right? I love you, and I'm asking this out of love, not of hate. Just go and click the fucking 5-star button and walk away, all right? The advertisers care. That's what keeps all the fucking lights on in here. But we love seeing you guys. We appreciate it. If you're in the Austin area, stop on by. We'll have you on as Drinkin' Bro of the Week at the end of the show. It's always best when we can meet you guys in person. We appreciate the support. For Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin' Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.